recently, not even recently at this point, this is the end of September. At the end of August, beginning of September, I went to the CNE with my family, and while we're at the CNE, we stayed there for the whole day. Obviously, I took out my cameras and I decided to take some shots. I took some shots while I was out there with my family. We got some beautiful images. I shot some Kodak Gold. I shot some Kodak T-Max 400, which I shot at 200, which all came back overexposed. And I shot, what else did I shoot? I shot Portrait 800. Those pictures came out really, really good, but I felt really restricted. Obviously, when you're with family, you can't go around and walk around and do the different things that you wanted to do. So what I decided to do was, a couple of days after I went with my family, the last week actually of the CNE, I went on a day when I thought the weather was going to be good. And the weather was actually pretty nice that day that I went out. And I went just before golden hour, and I decided that I wanted to shoot some Cinestill. The reason I wanted to shoot Cinestill was that if you don't know anything about the CNE, obviously you don't know. If you don't live in Canada, if you don't live in Toronto, you don't know what the CNE is. The CNE is the Canadian National Exhibition. The exhibition is like a big town country fair. They have games, they have exhibits, they have so many different things going on. They have food, they have everything that you could ever want in the fair. And as part of this fair, you spend a lot of money. Obviously, we haven't had it in a couple of years, and this year I just decided that I really wanted to take some pictures. And as I said, I was there with my family a couple of days before, and we were there up until nighttime. And at nighttime, I saw the lights. All the lights came on. I'm like, this will look really good on Cinestill. And I decided to get me some Cinestill 800T, as well as the black and white XX film, which I haven't really shot at night before, because I wanted to see what these would do. And I knew that Cinestill will make the lights glow. I wanted to make the lights glow. So I got me some Cinestill, and I decided to head out to the CNE after work on a Wednesday, Thursday. It was cheaper after 5, after 6, it's cheaper. It was still like $15 to get in. I didn't buy any food, I didn't buy anything because I spent all my money on film. But I decided to hop on in an Uber, head down there for after work. Sorry, baby, if you're watching this. I didn't tell you I was going there, but she doesn't watch my videos anyway, so why am I talking about this? I had my RZ67 with me, and one of the main reasons why I really wanted to go out to the CNE was because I really wanted to test out this camera. I wanted to shoot with this camera, I wanted to flex with this camera, I wanted to see if I really actually like this camera or if I'm just going to sell it off. Right? I'm not going to tell you my judgments on the camera yet until the end of the video, but this camera is heavy, so I also brought with me a tripod and shutter release trigger thingy. Once I got there, I'm setting up my camera. I only had one back at this time for the RZ. Now I have multiple backs, and this is the main reason why I wanted to get onto backs, because once I got there, I realized I had some HP5 loaded in the back of the camera. Why did I have HP5? Why, Ebby? Why? Anyways, the reason why I had HP5 loaded in, because I always like to have film on my camera, always have my camera with me. If I see a shot, I want to shoot it. So the day before, I had loaded some HP5, and I just didn't end up shooting anything. So I got there, I'm like, damn, I gotta quickly write off 10 frames of HP5 before the sun goes down. These HP5 shots turned out to actually be some of my favorite shots that I shot on this day, and it just goes to show you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get with some of these film stocks. You never know how these are going to turn out, and I really like them. I really do. I'm actually going to be putting together a little 6x8 book for myself, not for anybody else. I'm starting to want to print a lot more of my work. I have a 4x6 printer that I use for printing some of my stuff here, just so I can see them in print. Not to do anything more with them other than to just have them printed. I might put them in like a picture book, but I also printed them on an actual photo book that is coming in the mail sometime soon. So follow me on Twitter if you want to see what those look like. After I shot the HP5, I loaded in the Cinestill black and white. Like, who goes to a fair with all these colors, all these lights, and shoots black and white film? Apparently I do. Anyways, shot some Cinestill black and white, decided to walk around so many different places, shot the rides, shot the food. The type of photos I like to shoot is environmental, in the moment, and not necessarily posed or portraits or photos of people. I like to photograph environments, photograph people doing their things in the environment. I guess you can call that street photography, but for me, I like to think of it as a time and place that is not staged but is happening in real life of people. So all these things, those are the type of things I like to photograph, and you see a reflection in that in the pictures that I share. So I shot my Cinestill black and white. Then I moved on to my Cinestill 800T. As I'm there loading up my Cinestill 800T, I see this other older photographer, this older man. He came up to me and was like, "Oh, I really like your RZ67. And are you gonna be shooting some long exposure?" Like, long exposure? Why didn't I think of shooting long exposure? It never actually crossed my mind that I should shoot long exposure. Even though the pictures would turn out looking a little long exposure-ish, I'm like, I could shoot long exposure. Why don't I shoot long exposure? Let's shoot long exposure. And then I decided to shoot some long exposure shots. I've never actually shot long exposure on film before, so this was all experimental to me. And I metered it. I checked the film, I checked my shutter speed. I'm like, I already had the film loaded in. I couldn't even test if the camera could shoot long exposure. I didn't know because I didn't plan this. So off the cuff, decided to shoot some long exposure shots, and some of the shots turned out really, really good. I'm really excited at the way these shirts, just look at them. They turned out really nice. They turned out really good. And I'm excited. I might go out and shoot some more long exposure stuff, but this camera really, 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 really impressed me a lot. Yeah, I messed with the RZ67. I'm gonna be keeping this one. This one's gonna be staying around for a very, very long time, unless I find another camera that I want and then sell this one. But you're my favorite right now, RZ my favorite right now. Anyways, I took a couple more shots. Take a look at some of these shots that I shot here without my voice in your head. Let me know what you think about these shots in the comment section down below. The RZ67 really, really impressed me. I was really impressed with the images I was able to get out of it. I was really impressed with the overall user experience. Shooting with this camera, the shutter, when you hit that shutter button, the release just gives you this haptic feedback that makes me want to shoot more. The screen on the RZ67 actually is so much bigger. It's bigger than any other screen that I've used before. I'm actually used to shooting on the TLR 6x6 cameras, and those viewfinders are actually really tiny compared to this RZ67, and I was really impressed with it. I have the 127 as well as the 50mm lens, so obviously I shot a lot more the 50 than the 127 because I like a wider range of view, because I feel like it tells more of a story of the environment that you're in. So I love this RZ67. I'm going to be shooting a lot more with it. I have been shooting a lot more with it ever since I went to the CNE about a month ago. So this camera is becoming one of my favorites right now. And it's actually got me really jacked because, this camera weighs a ton. I have a left-hand grip for it that I use on a daily basis, and my shoulders and my biceps, my back are really feeling it holding this camera every day, but I love it. Now, to talk about the film stocks, I shot one roll of HP5 one roll of Cinestill XX black and white, and I shot 2 rolls of 800T. Looking back at these shots, I'm really impressed with the way the HP5 came out, right? And I've shot HP5 in the past. I haven't really been impressed with it, but I really love the way the blacks and the grays and the whites came out in these shots. And this one, if you look at this shot right here, the attendant on the left there, he's looking at me, he's looking at the camera, he's like, I like that camera. And I looked at him too, I'm like, I like that camera too. This is why I got it. A lot of people actually came up to me with the RZ talking about this camera, and like, oh, what camera is that? Oh wow. I met a couple of people, bonded with a couple of photographers who used to shoot film and now shoot digital. And you know what? Everybody should shoot film. You should shoot film. I mean, if you're watching this video, hopefully you shoot film. And going back to the film stocks, those film stocks really impressed me. I was really impressed with the Cinestill XX black and white film. Maybe become part of the rotation, but that film's actually a little more expensive than I would hope for. And I might be shooting more HP5 than Cinestill XX, but you definitely be seeing a lot more XX on my feed if you follow me on Instagram. And of course, Cinestill 800T did its thing. I wasn't really impressed with the 800T. Maybe this is not the best situation or scenario for it, but I don't know what I expected. I just expected more out of it. The colors seem a little dim. They seem a little dull. I wanted something more vibrant, and maybe I should have shot Portrait 800, but I don't know. The Cinestill 800T just didn't impress in this particular situation. I have shot a lot of 800T in the past, and I was expecting something more, but it just didn't cut it for me this time. As I said, I'm going to be putting together a compilation of some of my favorite 20 shots from this particular trip that I took to the CNE. I had a total of about 50. I shot 4 rolls by 10, 40. I had about 40 shots, and plus the other 3 rolls that I shot with my family when I went the week before, so that's another 30. So I had about 70 shots that I'm going to be cutting down to 20 that I'm going to be printing onto a book that is just going to live with me. If you're interested in seeing it, let me know. I'll send you a copy. And yeah, that brings me to the end of this video. If you like this style of video, more off the cuff, not more scripted, not necessarily to the T, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, maybe this inspires you to go out to your local fair, to go out to in your neighborhood and just go out and shoot. But I'm going to be doing a lot more of these style of videos, just like going out, just shooting in my area, coming up with projects. I'm getting ideas that just flow in my head every single day. And we're going into winter, so we're going into fall season. We're going to get a lot of colors in the trees, and a lot of clouds, a lot of rain as well. So I don't know. I'll see what I'm able to do. So stay tuned to this channel for more. Until next time, make sure you check out my blog, filmstockreel.com. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Visuals by Ebby. And this video is brought to you by Squarespace. No, it's not. It's brought to you by me, the beautiful people where I work at Studio Feather. But yeah, make sure you do the things. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.